And here we are. It's the Major League Baseball Trade Deadline Special. I am Ryan McGuffey here from the REKAP studios. It's 4:30, folks. We're down to the final 30 minutes. Pardon me. This has been a wild, wild trade deadline. I know a lot of you are ready to fire, and you should be. Quite honestly, you should be. We're going to spray to all fields here. Cap is out. He's not part of this. We're going to Gordon Whitmer here standing by shortly. Gordon Whitmer on the REKAP Cubs podcast. Brian Anderson will join me talking White Sox as they look like they may hold on to Luis Robert, which is insane. It's all brought to you by Wintrust, the home of Cubs checking, Cubs and White Sox checking. Log on to wintrust.com/Cubs or White Sox. Click that super cool QR code to get that debit card, whether you're a Cubs fan, a White Sox fan. We may lose both of you by the time this special is over, because if the Cubs don't trade for anybody, all of you are going to be nuts. And of course, it's brought to you by our fine partners at the Illinois Tollway and their If Only campaign, folks, reminding you to slow down. It'll save you and family and other families around you. The Illinois Tollway, a proud partner of us here at the REKAP. All right, a lot going on. Merrill Kelly was just traded to the Texas Rangers. The Houston Astros are going nuts right now. They've already reacquired Carlos Correa. There's talks that they're in talks for Dylan Cease, that those talks are intensifying. They may include Suarez in that deal. Everybody in the league is making moves. Every contender is going for closers. There are a boatload of closers that are gone. I will be checking my phone here, so pardon me when I'm going back and forth between Twitter, etc. But let's go to my guy right now. Let's bring in Gordon Whitmer, who's on the Cubs REKAP podcast each and every week with Cap and Gordo. Can you make any sense right now what the Cubs are doing or what they are not doing, my friend?
I was going to ask you what the hell they're doing. Look, I'm looking. They just got Willie Castro, right?
The Cubs just traded for Willie Castro?
So they got a utility guy. They basically went depth. You got a guy that hasn't put up numbers this year in a rotation. Maybe he's got some peripherals you like. It's good depth. You got a bullpen guy he can pitch toward the end of the game, but he's
blah, 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 right?
You got a utility guy, Eugenio Suarez, whether you believe Pat or Cap on how to pronounce his name. He goes back to the Mariners instead of the Cubs. There's no impact here. There's depth, there's incremental moves, but there's no impact. And I would have expected that, given where they are in this opportunity that's right there in front of them to seize, that they would have done a better job of seizing. Now, maybe they got 30 minutes to go here, less than 30 minutes to go. Maybe they pull off the big move that we've all been waiting for in these last 25 minutes or so. But Merrill Kelly's off the board. Suarez is off the board. I mean, how about who? I mean, all these guys, even Shane Bieber, Steven Matz is going. Naylor's guy.
Here's my thing. I'm going to interrupt you. All the teams that you're chasing, and let's not talk about a division title here. Let's not talk about a wild card. All the teams that are going for what we're thinking of, which is the crown jewel, the World Series, every single one of them, for the most part, has gotten better today. I don't care if it's AL.
Look at the Padres.
The Padres don't give a shit. Look at what the Houston Astros are doing right now. The Houston Astros, I mean, I've never
just got Carlos Correa back.
And they're trying. I just read a tweet. They're trying like hell
to win another World Series.
Houston, they're trying for a closer. They're trying for a closer and Dylan Cease with 30 minutes to go. Yes. You want Joe Ryan? The Minnesota Twins are selling like I've never seen a seller sell before. That means Joe Ryan's available. And guess who just jumped into that? According to John Morosi, the Boston Red Sox are now in the last 30 minutes hopping in the Joe Ryan sweepstakes. So make a play, Jed. Make a play, because A.J. Preller gave up the number 3 prospect in all of baseball. You know why? He sees an opportunity to win now. And for all of you who have come at me today saying, how many pennants do they have? How many do the Cubs have?
Right. Since Jed took over, since 60.
Period. In history, how many do they have?
I'm totally with you. And this is an opportunity. You go big on Kyle Tucker, and you may not have him back after this year. You get PCA coming on the way he has. This is probably a sign of what's coming in his career, but look those are 2 MVP caliber guys so far in your lineup it's made you one of the best lineups in the game this year without a $700 million guy, without a $300 million guy, and you've gotten the pitching without having, injuries. You got injuries to Steele. You've had an injury to Imanaga. You got an injury to Tyone, and you still get enough pitching.
And Joe Ryan is now off the board because he's a Boston Red Sox. I said the Red Sox were in. They got it done. Joe Ryan is now to the Boston Red Sox. That's another guy off the board. Hey, I'm telling you. Go ahead. Who's
running that Boston Red Sox organization?
Well,
a guy that was with the Cubs, Breslow. Who's running Detroit? A guy that was with the Cubs, Scott Harris. You know what Detroit went on and did? They got 3 relievers, including 2 guys that have been pitching at the back end, Sewald and Finnegan. Say what you want about it, but they've really, really upgraded their bullpen. You still got Owen Casey. It makes me wonder if they're not convincing themselves that promoting Owen Casey at some point this year is going to be the answer more than trading him. And
I'm telling you right now, if the biggest news that the Cubs do is announced 48 hours ago that they've extended their president of baseball operations, this tells me everything I need to know about the Cubs. That all they want to do is get in. They just want to get in, and that's good enough. And I'm telling you right now, this chat that I won't be able to keep up with is on fire. They are pissed, and I know that we still have time. They still have 23 minutes. This can change. In 23 minutes, this could change. Our entire tune can change. But right now, my God.
If nothing of impact happens in the next 23 minutes, then that extension for the president of baseball ops is going to be put in its proper context by what's happened in the last 24 hours.
100%. 100%. And
it's not a good context if you're somebody that's paying the prices that Cubs fans pay with the expectations that they have a right to have.
Yeah, and you see the comments coming in here. Get an extension. Andrew Hoyer is the twin of Matt Eberflus. What a joke. So sick of Jed and his BS. I mean, I saw some people in the lunch hour today say, hey, look, I'm ending my relationship with Marquis effective immediately if the Cubs don't make a move. And I said, look, as fans, you have the right. Yeah. You can control the narrative. Don't show up, cancel Marquis. It doesn't matter. This is what people want. I don't know what's going on. We saw the report earlier, and I know we got to cut you loose at some point here soon, Gordon. We saw the report earlier that Moises Ballesteros is somebody the Cubs don't want to get rid of. I thought Jed told us not that long ago that there are no untouchables. What the hell is going on? Moises Ballesteros, you're more coveted in his future about getting better to win the World Series now? Come on.
Yes. And by the way, anybody that's going to come back and say, well, the prices were this or the prices were that, we're seeing the players get moved that they should have acquired, that they should have been in on. And so because they've gotten moved, we now know the prices. Those players that can put you over the top, you should be willing to trade a Ballesteros, an Owen Casey. And honestly, anybody else at this point that you have in that farm system.
100. You got 4 top 100s, okay? I don't care if they're all-stars at some point. You have a shot to win a World Series, you go for it. And this is, TJ brings up a good point about the Bellinger money. Still under the luxury tax.
Exactly. Exactly. You could have taken on salary. 3 or 4 teams just got significantly better. Teams that are going to be in your way from doing what you want to do.
All right, so I'm told that because this is always the fun part. I'm told the Joe Ryan thing is a fake, that he might still be available. So that's where I rely on Hype, RNT, and other people who have Fox put it out there and they already removed it. So you rely on sources at this time of year, and it was put up there and already taken down. So I guess Joe Ryan is still it looks like Joe Ryan is maybe available. Who knows? What we do know, there are 20 minutes left, Gordon. Do you expect, because I've been adamant, and this is the last thing I'll have for you unless something happens when you're on the show. I still expect something to happen here. Mackenzie Gore, I don't know. There's no way something isn't behind curtain number 1. There's no way. A lot
of the guys that we've talked about, a lot of the best fits are off the board. So I don't know. Maybe Zach Allen is somebody they get. Would that be a success?
It's
I'd rather have Merrill Kelly if you're going to trade with those guys.
if Zach Gallen and 2 relievers are what happens, I'd give it a high C+.
Yeah.
I mean,
at this point, you're hoping for a B.
Jesus, hoping for a B.
But,
I don't.
I will say, hey, they've had a history of going down to the final minutes on this stuff.
They have.
So there might be somebody there, but if this is it, you can't walk away anything but bitter if you're a Cubs fan.
All right, so Gordon's in Cincinnati, where the Reds made an in-division trade with Adrien Houser and got him at the hot corner with third base. The Reds are still they're very much in the wild card race.
Got a starting pitcher that would have helped the Cubs.
I know. By the way, and we're going to get to it because Brian Anderson's waiting in the chat here. The White Sox, what the hell are they doing? They're keeping Luis Robert. They're talking about picking up his option. Adrien Houser is still a White Sox. What is going on?
You guys are freaking delusional about the value of their players. That's what's going on.
Chicago is something, man. There's no city in the world like it that disrespects their fans more. It's unbelievable. Gordon, you're the best, buddy. Look forward to doing the Cubs recap podcast for you guys because I don't know if there's enough cold water to throw on both you and Cap if the Cubs do nothing.
All right, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, buddy. Enjoy. We'll talk to you soon. That's the great Gordon Whitmer. He's down in Cincinnati covering the Reds. Of course, he's on the Chicago Cubs podcast here with the recap. Check him and Cap out. So I see the comments pouring in. Let's get to a couple. BA's only got a few minutes. I got to get to BA. Houser will get traded for cash considerations, says my guy, Tom DeBreezy. Welcome to the chat, my man, at 4:59. Angel, damn, nothing's happened in Chicago. I would have thought the Sox would have got rid of at least 1 to 2 players. Come on, White Sox. Do something. Well, do something. There's my guy. Look at him. He borrowed one of my shirts. We're brothers from another mother. Brian Anderson's about to hop on CHSN and do this same thing when the trade deadline's over. So we're together here. There's 18 minutes leading up to the deadline. I'm with Jonathan O'Brien here, my guy, BA. Welcome to the program. Thanks for doing this. He's with the White Sox Recap Podcast, him and I. I'm with Jonathan. Come on, White Sox, do something. Only Austin Slater has been traded to the Yankees. Adrien Houser was scratched yesterday. And with 17 minutes to go, my friend, he is still a Chicago White Sox. And Luis Robert Jr. appears to be staying with the possibility of picking up an option for next year. My head's going to explode.
Hey, man, the Luis Robert one's got me, but I don't want the White Sox to get rid of Houser, man. I love that guy.
Jesus.
He's an older guy, but I say, after the trade deadline, lock that guy up for about 2 for 16. 2 year, $16 million. You got him in Chicago for a couple more years. Trade him next year if you want.
Come on, man. Like, you catch lightning in a bottle and you get the opportunity to sign and flip. You sign and flip. I still feel like we're going to find out that the Cubs land Adrien Houser because they're trying for Mackenzie Gore, they're trying for Joe Ryan, and they don't come. They're unwilling to move prospects, and they don't get it done. And maybe Adrien Houser. Watson, do you think the Sox will sign Robert with the hopes of trading him in the offseason? You mentioned Luis Robert. To me, I've said it at nauseum with you. This is a peel off the Band-Aid and throw out the old rebuild and move on. Yes, he's been great for a month. It's been his best baseball in over 2 years. And the Sox are hoping, well, maybe this is who he is. And next year we sign and flip, or we flip him again at the deadline, and he's got one option left, and teams see him for the bigger packages as a more controllable player. Dude, the back of the baseball cards told me everything I need to see, Brian.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't get it. I feel like he's going to start chasing again if he's on the team tomorrow.
Well, he's playing for something, but playing for a contract. But let me tell you this: it's not like the team. What's the team option for 20? I mean, that's a
$20
really
million
expensive price tag. That's a really expensive price tag to go out and go. Oh yeah, we're going to give you one more chance. I mean, he's been with the team 5 or 6 years. It's like, hey man, we get it, but you're trying to talk about a guy who has a history of not hustling. He has a history of inconsistency, history of injuries. Obviously he's not showing tremendous leadership in the clubhouse. I'm not nothing to disparage the guy, but again, he's had plenty of opportunities to go out there and showcase himself. I think you got to dump him right now and go get a couple guys for him. There's a team out there right now, like you said. Shoot, the Cubs, man. I know pitching's king right now, but it doesn't surprise me the Cubs don't go after somebody like him.
It's crazy. And I look at like people are surprised by what teams are giving up. Like the Diamondbacks just received the Rangers number 5 prospect, their 9 prospect, and their 13 for Merrill Kelly. You know, the San Diego Padres traded the number 3 overall prospect in baseball today to get Mason Miller, who's the best closer on the market until 2030. 2030. Yeah. Who gives a crap?
People talk about grading teams. Right now, Seattle's great, but San Diego is my pick right now as far as A++. They're like, we're going all in. We haven't been to the World Series since 1998, and the only reason why they didn't win is because they ran into the wrong organization. That was a 15-year stretch of running into the wrong organization.
Yeah, and you know what? I had some people coming at me earlier because I said, man, I sure as hell respect a guy like A.J. Preller who continues to go for it. Is the Cubs, and we know the Cubs got utility man Willie Castro. I mean, yay. Like, it better not be. We know the Cubs got Willie Castro. I see it in the chat. I know it's we talked about it when Gordon was just on here. Look, you can only go for what the trophy in front of you. That's this year. And if you're in it and you think you can win it, go for it. I like a lot with the Texas Rangers. Right now I already put a futures ticket on them to win the World Series. They have the best pitching in baseball. They landed Merrill Kelly. Now, I do. I think that if they get in, their pitching is so ridiculous. They're a half a run better than any team in the game. And now they should add Merrill Kelly. If they can just get enough offense to get in the playoffs, a team like that tells me they can win. The San Diego Padres have Suarez, who's one of the best closers in the game, and just added the best one. They just shortened the game. They basically
John Wetland, man. They just John Wetland him. They went and got John Wetland, the modern day John Wetland. They go, hey, Mariano, we'll get to Mariano Rivera on the 9th. Just give us John Wetland, have him come in there, and then hand it off to the King. So I think they're going to be fun to watch. But back to Houser, man. I don't know what it is, but I think there's a situation where you can lock that guy up towards the end of the year, get him here for a couple more years, and start to have him around. Right? We talked about all the time. The trades are great, but you don't want to just trade someone to trade someone, right? The package has got to make sense.
Looks like there's a report from Bob Nightingale here that Sandy Alcantara, that a lot of people expect to be moved, the Cy Young winner from 2 years ago, will be staying put in Miami as the Marlins will take him into the winter. And, you know, the good thing about keeping a guy into the winter, and I heard Rick Hahn, who's the resident GM today on MLB Network's coverage, say, you have 29 other clubs to trade with in the offseason, and you can acquire this year's draft picks, so the pool is better. Maybe the Cubs aren't willing to part with any of their top 100 guys. I mean,
maybe they just don't think they can beat Milwaukee. That's a real
insane.
Conversation.
Well,
that's a real conversation that the GMs have, I swear, because they might say, yeah, the fan base deserves this, or, you know, we might need to make a playoff run, but if they know in their heart of hearts they cannot get by a certain team, they're not going to just get rid of prospects to get rid of them.
I'm going to ask you a question about the Cubs here. Like, you announced a extension for your president of baseball ops 48 hours ago.
David Kaplan's best friend?
For David Kaplan's best friend. And now they've acquired a super utility man and Willie Castro and a couple of relievers. What's the message to the fan base if the Cubs don't make a move here? A big one.
Well, the message to the fan base is they have 11 minutes to figure it out, is the message to the fan base. Or maybe they go get someone after the waiver deadline too. So there's still things to be done. We as fans now and media people now that are, you know, now that I'm out of baseball, we always think there's this hard deadline, man. But there's always moves to be made.
Dude, how about this? You got to love, the Brewers don't give a shit. They just traded Nestor Cortez to the Padres.
Yeah.
So the Brewers, the Brewers already think they're better than the Cubs because they just proved it, and they're in first place. And they're saying, yeah, Nestor Cortez. Like, this is incredible. I think this trade deadline, this is what I want all trade deadlines to be. Just complete wild, wild west where you got Carlos Correa begging his way out to go back to Dustin May is going. Wow, the Dodgers just traded Dustin May to the Boston Red Sox. Dude, first place teams are trading to division to contenders.
Yes.
First place teams are trading contenders. And they're at, this is insane. This is insane. So
hey, look at the Padres, man. They know right now, they're like, we're not getting playoff ready. We have to find a way to get past the Dodgers, right? They know they do, or Milwaukee. There's absolutely no sense in making blockbuster trades, acquiring top tier talent just to get to the second round of the playoffs, or just to make win a couple games. in a playing game or something like that. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and that's what I think the Cubs are telling their fans right now is like, well, we're good enough to get in, and no one wants to hear that. When you're a team, and in 2005, I'll bring up the last thing I have for you, 2005, everyone was like, oh, here come the Indians. And you need to, and actually at the time of the deadline, the White Sox had like a double-digit lead in the division.
Yeah, it was like 13, 14 games or something.
And they added Jeff Blum, and every single person, including me, was like, "Oh shit!" Like they didn't do enough because they didn't do enough. They didn't add, and it worked out. How? And this will be the explanation for the Cubs, I guess, if they don't add anything else. Can you add just a couple of things and take off again and win it all?
Yeah, I mean, listen, these executives have sit-down meetings with the coaching staff, and they have heart-to-heart conversations, the tough conversations, and those conversations revolve around one of two things. Do we have enough right now to go make a deep run in the playoffs? If the answer is yes, then they're not going to give up teams. Or they may say, we're not giving up like X, Y, and Z prospects. We know we're not going to. It's going to be a miracle if we can get into the NL Championship Series. Like there's no point in doing it. So they're going one of two directions here. Unfortunately, I just think David Kaplan's going to have a rough couple days here. He's going to be mumbling some MFs about our boy Jed Hoyer.
Cap was originally supposed to be a part of this show. Okay, my guy Cap. There was a little bit of chaos that ensued because of his great following and the people who know that he's plugged into the Cubs. But he's also pulling the hair out that he doesn't have on the top of his head right now. I just talked to him right before I came on, and I was like, dude, and I didn't even get it out. And he goes, I have no idea. He's like, I'm doing a recap later tonight, which I know he's going to do a recap. I'm going to do a Sox recap. And he's like, I'm going to blast them. I said, blast them? That's nice. Blast them. If they don't do anything, watch out.
And his boy just got an extension. It's just to rub salt in the wound. I know that's what he's the most pissed about.
All right, the chat has got so many. Phil Matone going to the Rangers, or Jose Calabero from the Rays to the Yankees. Let's see what else we got here. Nestor Cortez, I already mentioned. A couple of last ones. Dustin May, we already mentioned. This is going to be fun. The final 7 minutes. Then the trades come in after the last year's when we learned that Eloy Jimenez was traded. I thought it was a joke. And but here, Bird Dog, how can you say you're all in and do nothing? We'll find out. BA, well, where to watch you tonight? 6 o'clock where?
CHSM, man. I'll be on there. I might even wear a tie for you tonight. I don't know how good I'm feeling.
Well, if you're trying to replicate me, wearing a tie is not the way to do it. Yeah. My man, we'll talk soon, brother.
See you, buddy.
The great Brian Anderson, former White Sox outfielder, 2005 World Series champion. You can catch him with me on the White Sox Recap podcast. Let's get to the chat. I know a lot of you guys, some of you who are new to the program, some of you who are new to the recap, we're here for you. I like to go back and forth with you. I'm alive every day at 12:30. We have 5 minutes plus leading into the trade deadline. I'm with Bird Dog. How can you say you're doing how can you say you're all going to do absolutely nothing? Where's Cap? I want to see that fire. I know people are here to see Cap. Okay. Cap is not going to be with it. We are going to have a recap later on the Cubs moves. He's plugged in right now. He is absolutely dialed in to the rumors or lack thereof. And the Tampa Bay Rays have acquired Adrien Houser. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. Let me get to it. Adrien Houser is no longer a member of the Chicago White Sox, according to Cubs are acquiring reliever Taylor Rogers from the Pirates. So again, just a okay reliever. All right. Where did you see? Okay. The Rays are acquiring Adrien Houser. So there it is to my guy, Robert Murray. He is as good as they get. I love Robert Murray. I'm a big fan of him. You should follow his stuff. So let me get that up here. Report. The White Sox have traded. White Sox trade Adrien Houser to the Tampa Bay Rays, which is good because I know BA was just on saying he'd sign him to it. Come on, man. This is what the White Sox signed Adrien Houser for, to hopefully in May figure him out, turn him around, and flip him. The Texas Rangers, who have the best pitching staff in all of baseball, they have an ERA in the low threes. It's a half a run better than anybody else. Had him in AAA. He voided his contract. The White Sox signed him, and there you go. So Adrien Houser is on the move. He's going to Tampa Bay. You never sometimes like to see what Tampa Bay is doing. If you trade a guy to Tampa Bay knows what's going on. Miguel Andujar is going to the Reds. I mentioned the Cubs trade, Adrien Houser, the White Sox. Yes. Trying to keep up with this. Keep the chat going. If you guys have anything, let me know. Watson, the White Sox pitching coaches are quite frankly pitching wizards. Here's what I've said. Ethan Katz pitching lab is a real thing. The Ethan Katz pitching lab is a real thing. The Cubs, like as mentioned, Taylor Rogers is a new Cub. The Cubs have now acquired 3 relievers here in the last 24 hours. Is anybody excited? How is it that every year the White Sox have a guy to trade? Cease, Crochet, Robert, and they can never get a trade done at the deadline? Well, they had to trade Houser. Steely E saying the Sox are beating the Cubs in the trade deadline. Let's go get McCutchen. I will wait to let you, as soon as I know what the White Sox got, we will let you know. I'm starting to feel for the Cubs fans here. I mean, it's beyond that I'm feeling, because this is insanity to me. This is absolute insanity to me that right now the biggest Chicago trade is that Adrien Houser was traded to the Tampa Bay Rays, which, by the way, another move the Cubs could have made. Another move the Cubs could have made. Less than 5 minutes. Let's go, people. We're at less than 3 minutes. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Hey, watch the Orioles sweep us this weekend, says Allen. David, 3 minutes left, and Hoyer face plants again. Now bring up Cassian. This is the BS, Jim. If Owen Casey and Ballesteros are up tomorrow and that's your move, it's an absolute travesty. It's a joke. I'm not ready to go off yet as we hit the 3 minute mark. I'm not ready to go off yet because there's got to be something up their sleeve. No way Tucker resigns with the Cubs after this BS, says Deacon. I get it. Put anyone else in charge of baseball management. Here's what's interesting. The White Sox, Curtis Mead is who the White Sox got. Taking a look at Curtis Mead. Curtis Mead has actually been up with the Rays this year. 115 at-bats. A second baseman, third baseman, first baseman. Oh, you got to love a guy with no position. 24 years old. Curtis Mead. Hey, look, you got a major league player for Adrien Houser. I mean, let's be honest. When they signed him, there it is. Luis Robert will not be traded officially. That's BS. That is absolute BS. That Luis Robert is not going to be traded. And I will sit here and eat that. If they end up getting something for him of consequence in the offseason, or a year from now, he's played so well, he's worth getting traded for. I'm shaking my head at this one. I'm shaking my head. Martin Perez will be back. He will basically become the Adrien Houser in the second half as we have approached the final minute here of the trade deadline. The Pirates are not trading Andrew Haney. They're not trading Dennis Santana. What the hell are the Cubs doing? What the hell are the Cubs doing? Taylor Rogers is their guy. That's who they have right now. Taylor Rogers. He was an all-star, believe it or not, back in 2021. He is 34 years old. Dude, I'm laughing and it's not funny. Let's get back to the chat. It's blowing up. You guys are pissed. Godfather, I give you the throne, my friend. You said it. There should be a statue of you in Gallagher Way. I really believe. 2 months you've been saying. 2 months you've been saying this is going to happen. A D minus? That might be fair. Or that might be too much, I mean, James. A D minus. Look at the comments now from Cubs fans. We have hit 4:59 and counting. We're less than a minute to go. Now, stay with us. Stay with us. Trades do happen some of the trades come in under the wire. We'll wait. Loser franchises in Miami, Minnesota, and Arizona hanging on to pitchers for no reason. Have fun wasting those guys down the stretch. Javi Baez, Almigo checking in. I saw earlier, Sox are leaning in. If you're not trading Luis Robert, you're picking up his option. Ben Zobrist, you take him, right? Mark, that's something we're talking about 10 years ago. To be honest, this market is too up. They wanted They didn't want to trade from the farm system for reinforcements. Then I guess you don't want to win the World Series. That's the way I look at the Tigers 40 seconds ago from John Heyman, working hard to acquire a starting pitcher. Jim Bowden just tweeted as we've hit 5 o'clock. The trade deadline is over. Joe Ryan, Mackenzie Gore, Sandy Alcantara, Edward Cabrera, Zach Gallen, Luis Robert Jr., Andrew Haney, and Dennis Santana, all not traded. That's insane to me. What the hell is going on with the Chicago Cubs? This is asinine. I said I'd flip a table over. If you're a Cub fan right now, you should be so out of your mind, pissed off. You should be out of your mind. Cue the sad trombone. We are stuck with this joke. No way they signed Tucker. I'm officially on your side. Why would you believe they'll sign Kyle Tucker? Second best team in baseball, no significant moves. Why are we a large, small market team? 3 mid-tier relievers and a utility man. I thought they were all in. What happened to going all in, Jed? The deadline is over. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting to find this. I'm still waiting to find out the Cubs have made a trade. Yet it's 5:01. Teams love their prospects too much. Not the Padres. Do I think they didn't trade because they know they will not sign Tucker to keep Casey? No. But I do believe, John, why would I believe the Cubs are going to sign Kyle Tucker now? 48 years following the Cubs. I feel you, DJ. Effing ridiculous, says Trey. Face plant, says Justin. Hoyer and Ricketts glaze prospects like OnlyFan models. I'll be honest with you. The White Sox only trading 2 players also blows my mind. The Yankees just got another stud reliever. The Yankees just got Duvall. I'm telling you, I'm not going to have a voice by the time this is over. What a joke. Charlie Morton. This is what I'm talking. Charlie Morton, not going to the Cubs. He is going to the Detroit Tigers. They can't even get a 41-year-old or a 32-year-old reclamation project in Adrien Houser. You're going to flip it every 5th day. You're going to throw Colin Ray out there. Okay. Colin Ray, Alcantara and Cabrera, they're staying. Guardians kept Stephen Kwan. Mackenzie Gore officially not traded. Maybe the Cubs spent too much time trying to get him all day. The Blue Jays acquiring Luis Varland. The Twins, I think, got rid of 10 players today. Charlie Morton not going to the Cubs. Just giving you everything I got here. I'll keep it going with the chat. You were right at lunch, Corey. It'll be another 5 years. Cubs don't care. Why should I? Jed went all in. The Walmart discount bin. Jed gets the gold mine. Fans get the shaft. Cubs are not a serious franchise. I have already spiked a remote. You should be pissed off. Insane. This city sucks. We deserve better. This city is so happy to be mediocre that it blows my mind. I don't think this is all on Jed. I think Ricketts had Jed's hands tied. Andy, I think you speak correctly. What a waste of a season for the Cubs. Padres and Astros won today, Robert. Certainly look like, I think the Texas Rangers won as well. Thank God for 2016, says Alan. I feel for you guys. Look, obviously I'm a Sox guy, right? I'm pissed at the White Sox. I am. I think this is the worst trade deadline in Chicago sports history. I think it's the worst in Chicago sports history because the Cubs actually have an offense worth doing something, worth adding to, and the Cubs did nothing to back them up. They've been mediocre. They haven't even been bad. Tucker's been bad in July. The offense as a whole is right in the middle of the pack, and they took a break. They had one bad month, and it's still in the middle of the pack, and your starting pitching has nothing in the tank, and you reinforced them with absolutely nothing. And I hope this receipt comes back to bite me in the ass in October, and that the Cubs go on a run. I do. But I'm telling you right now, I feel like all of you, it's absolutely insane that the biggest move the Cubs made this week was announce an extension for a guy who's been there 14 years, for a club that hasn't won a playoff game in 7 years, that acts like they have all these banners because they fill the park every single day. And they got 3 damn banners, which is as many as the White Sox, who also sat on their hands with some of their veterans. Steely says Cap is just as responsible. He blatantly lied to the fans that he had guys on the inside that said Jed will not hesitate. He's got to apologize for himself tonight. Total miss by opportunity. I'm not giving addresses. Rookies who get called up in September usually don't do it at playoff. Flip that sofa over. I know. You're a damn failure. I'm playing these today because you guys deserve to be heard. You deserve to be heard. I'm fired up. And I'm not even invested. I'm just looking here. I'm not even invested into of course I'm invested into the Cubs. I want them to do well. It's good for City. It's good for the recap. F- for the Cubs. This is crap. BS. You guys deserve this. I hate the Cubs ownership. Kyle Tucker shouldn't trust the front office. I wish Ricketts never. How about T? I think that's almost a little extreme. Because at least there was a World Series. I understand the Tribune company sucked too. But to think 10 years later, we're sitting here saying Tom Ricketts wish he never owned the team. Now we can watch the Bears. The Rays, here's another one. Griffin Jacks. Dude, the Twins traded like a dozen dudes. The White Sox are going to actually be better than the Twins. Griffin Jacks is also going to the Tampa Bay Rays. So the Cubs missed another opportunity to add. We keep Robert, Tauchman, and Savali and only trade Houser for a bench warmer. I thought there was a chance Mike Tauchman stayed. I did. Doesn't mean it's because that tells me Tauchman's back next year. Tauchman has a year of control left. Aaron Savali staying here, other than protection for your young guys, either tells me the White Sox were getting nothing for him. The Twins get Taj Bradley in the Griffin Jacks deal. See, Taj Bradley made like 20 starts this year. He was one of my bets of the day not that long ago. And they're not afraid to give up on him. Tampa Bay. This is unbelievable. It really is. I'm still hoping, like in the minutes here, that we're going to find that the Cubs made a deal. They'll make a lowball offer to Tucker and say, we tried. Sad, just sad. Cubs imploded. Go flip a table, Guff. I said I would. You should be pissed. You should be pissed. There's your table. Blow Cubs, blow Cubs, blow. Hey, the only thing I can say, we got quality pieces, to be honest. Here's what I'll say. You guys better back it up. Stephen Kwan stays, as I mentioned. You guys better back it up. You guys are all saying, I'm not going to any more Cubs games. I'm canceling the marquee. Emotion's real. Okay? Back it up. And that's the Cubs at their best one World Series in a year. Let the excuses reign, Jed. We got to find where, guys, please, don't be stupid, James. We don't got to find out where Jed Hoyer lives. He's a human being with a family. You can be pissed. Be pissed at the ownership. We're not hunting people down. I'm not condoning that crap. So don't come on here and start spewing, let's go after Jed Hoyer. John Morosi, no deal. That's right. Should have traded Kyle Tucker if they don't care about winning. Interesting perspective from Andrew right there. All in on what? You are a Sox fan, but you are on a show bitching because the Cubs didn't make enough moves for you as a Sox fan. What's wrong with this picture? Hey, NC, thanks for being here. You don't have to be. I cover both teams. That's what this job does. We're the recap. We cover every Cubs game, every White Sox fan, every White Sox game. Had Gordon Whitmer at the top of the show talking Cubs. Why wouldn't you be? You should be. Both teams sucked today. Both teams. Sox traded Slater and Houser. That's it? Come on, man. Kyle Tucker for Albert Armora. Javier Assad better turn into Jake Arrieta. Think about that. Rays trade for Griffin Jacks. Cap owes you an apology. I think he owes I owe you guys an apology. Because I said for the last 2 months that the Cubs are going to make massive moves, and they didn't do it. So I'm sorry too. What if we traded the whole farm? Y'all would be mad too. Who cares? Trade the prospects. Jed's so bad. Is Dallas Green still alive? No. Thought they wanted to win. Charlie Morton, yeah. Front office is garbage. Tweets saying tweets are saying you got Mackenzie Gore. Everybody else is saying Mackenzie Gore is staying in Washington. And that was confirmed. Cubs failed to upgrade enough pitching. What a joke. Agreed with you guys. Still have the best team in AAA. We'll stay on here for another 5 minutes just to make sure. Just to make sure. I got MLB Network going here. Still have the best team in AAA baseball. That a boy, Jed. Dude, they're straight up wasting one of the great offenses of this decade. Look at Jed. By the way, Carter Hawkins is the GM. For those of you curious, Carter Hawkins, GM. I missed the Tribune and Jim Hendry. This is unbelievable. Where's the Glazer David Kaplan at for Hoyer? Well, he's got to have a recap later. This is just sad. I really hate Jed. Look at this, guys. Again, Carter Hawkins is the GM. Any other team trades for is another stud. Anything the Cubs trade for, man, subpar. No hype. You know what? Good teams got better today, except for the Cubs. Morton's 90. He's been pretty decent the last few months. A lot of hate for Jed today. A lot of hate. I don't think Cap will have a voice when he's done with the Cubs recap. Thanks, Cubs. It's going to happen still. Watch. All right, Bill. I'm staying on for you, pal. I'm staying on for you. I think my wife's concerned about my well-being right now. Joseph. They told Cap that we're all in and had resources to use, and they lied. Aaron, such a joke. James, Cubs got 0 starting pitching. Sugar says Cubs Fest will be good next year. The Astros got Carlos Correa, Ramon Urias, Jesus Sanchez. Talks with Cease were legitimate and at times picking up steam, but they never got Dylan Cease. Let's get 45-year-old Rich Hill. He is available. Yeah, I'm with you, Dan. Let's see what Luis Robert is now, because the White Sox were convinced that he had a good month, and maybe, just maybe, this is the guy we're going to see again. Hi, I've seen the back of your baseball card. I see what it says. He's played 100 games twice. Cap will catch a case. Very disappointed. Ricketts just showed everyone what he thinks about fans. I understand, guys. Yeah. Jameson Tyone will come back. Quentin says y'all are too negative for me. Everyone's upset. Still in shock. Jed figures he got his contract. His work is done. Now we have 5 bullpen days. Godfather loves the bullpen days. Wait for Cade Horton to start game 3 of a playoff game if we can win games 1 or 2. Guys, for the first time, I'm actually telling you, I feel you. I've been standing up saying they're going to make a move. And instead you get some 30-year-old relievers. Everyone's saying feels like Tribune 2.0. What a joke of a franchise. One of Theo's greatest quotes, if not now, when? Justin, great recall. Beyond disappointed. Tyone will be traded. Well, he's not getting traded. Maybe in the offseason. Ricketts is in return on investment mode. He'll never try to win again, says Ed. I mean, I feel you guys. I'll never pay $20 extra on cable for this BS next year. Michael, you can make that decision right now. Cap is, should we call Cap? I know you're all going to say yes, but he's not coming on. I'm concerned about Cap. Walmart's a solid business, says Quentin, because that's where the Cubs shop. Thank God football season is around the corner. Go Eagles. We've had multiple people now say, all right, on to the NFL. We haven't been talking enough Bears. Cubs are just the Pirates. Changed my mind. Well, the Pirates, they haven't won a World Series in the last 10 years, so I can't say that. Amaya's hitting 182 on rehab. Will we release McGuire, who's doing a great job? That's how we roll. Honestly, your bench stinks. I could see a situation where you keep 3 catchers. Cubs will miss the playoffs. Michael, get our hopes up, Jed, and you pull a Kmart special. The one thing the Cubs needed was an impact starting pitcher, and they blew it. Stop throwing your hard-earned money, Cubs fans. They don't care. Why should you? Cap, that's my guy, Jed. My guys on the inside tell me, don't worry, we'll make any and every necessary move. Take that, Guff. Cap, word for word a week ago, right here. And I'm sitting here saying, what a joke. You did. Mike Rizzo. Not that Mike Rizzo, although he's available. Called it 2 weeks ago. Robert should have known when Jed got his extension. He said all in, and ownership said nope. They don't want to go out in free agency next year. Just pull up players that don't fit. No spot for Ballesteros. You better be. These guys better come up and absolutely prove us wrong. The Ricketts are identical to the McCaskies. Sam, why are the Rays making bigger trades than us? Hey, Sam, you can add a bunch of teams to that mix. You can add a bunch of teams that don't have the resources of the Chicago Cubs to that mix. Why are any teams? Detroit Tigers? Not a big market team. Padres won the deadline. Playoffs? Are you kidding me? Playoffs? Says Alan. This is unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. They're like a family that gets clothes at the flea market. You guys, I don't know what to tell you other than I'm sorry. I'm glad we're here together. This is therapy for a lot of people, and I'll do it every single day for you at 12:30. Twins are paying Carlos Correa to go away. $33 million of Carlos Correa's remaining $103 million. How about the Royals coming in at the deadline here? Mike Yastrzemski going to Kansas City. The Royals are still trying to go for it, which is crazy to me. But good for the Twins for not lying to themselves. I think it's important to understand who you are. And the Minnesota Twins, who currently are 11 games better than the White Sox, are just 6 games under 500, but 5.5 out of the wild card, just sold half their roster today. The Royals are going for it. They've won 7 out of 10. They're game under 500. They're 3 back of the wild card. I appreciate them as well because they're second in the majors in ERA. I'm going to jump down here a little bit. Jess says she's done with Marquee, done with the Cubs, and she's ready for football. I don't blame you. At least we have football. So the Bears could be the disappointment. I'll stay with you guys for a few more here since trades are still coming in. Jed needs to keep his head on a swivel. Hey, you know what, James? I'm telling you right now, you're out here threatening Jed Hoyer, trying to find his address, saying watch his back. This stuff's public, dude. Don't be an idiot. It's ridiculous. I'll keep that up. Don't be an idiot. Not doing that crap. Road to Ninja wants to know Cap's inside sources. Well, Cap's our Cubs resident. Zach Gallen officially stays in Arizona. So that he's not going. Jay True, not to promote drinking, but blacking out might be the best way to go about my day so I don't remember. Just make sure you're doing it at home, my friend, or that you have a ride. David, Cap knew this was going to happen. Just why he's not on. That's not why he's not on. Dylan Cease officially stayed put. Allen spent too much on Jed's contract, couldn't afford any good players. To quote Bob Verdi, the great Bob Verdi, the city of broad shoulders and narrow trophy cases. I just said it. 3 pennants. Our bullpen's still solid. You got a rookie closer. He's going head-to-head with Mason Miller. Padres, who you got? By the way, Suarez will be the setup guy. Good luck. Good luck. I like the return the White Sox did get for Adrien Houser. I will say that. They got a player, when they signed him in May, I don't think they thought they would get. Curtis Mead. Mead, in the midst of his 3rd partial season, I'm reading my guys at Sox 35th. He's posted stronger minor league numbers. We've seen that before. Has been viewed as someone who needs more consistent at-bats. This is one of those things that I think about. Last year, when the White Sox got Miguel Vargas and everybody was upset, at least he was a former top 100 prospect. And he showed signs that he could be here in the future. And that's what you got for a rental. Well, not a rental, but I guess that's what, in essence, Adrien Houser was. And you got the best out of Adrien Houser, and Ethan Katz should get a lot of that credit, as should Adrien Houser. Sounds like James Fegan is saying 2 other prospects coming back to the White Sox. So the White Sox acquired 3 players for Adrien Houser. That's awesome. I can actually clap for something right now. I can actually clap that the Cubs or the White Sox did something right. Eel for Eel wins the comment of the day. This is the Ryan McGlattery we're talking about. He knows both the Sox and Cubs. Come on now. I cover both. I can still have the black on. A lot of hate out there for our guy Jed. Passing, that was fun. That tells you, folks. Yeah, John Morosi, one of the best trade deadlines ever. I think it was the worst trade deadline in the history of Chicago. Why would the Twins trade everyone except Joe Ryan? At least he's got control. Look at, I can't even, the amount of I hate Jeds. Watson, is this what we can expect from the White Sox rebuild? That is to say half-ass. No, they're not. They have to spend money. I will say by keeping more players than I expected them to, we should expect the White Sox to have more wins in the second half. It also tells me there's probably not a lot more. Braden Montgomery was called up to Double-A, so maybe he gets a September run. But, folks, this is as disappointing. Jonathan says it well. I can respect the frustration of the Cubs fans. If I were a Cubs fan, I'd be ticked off too, and I'm a Sox fan. My goodness. I mean, this is what I'm seeing all throughout the chat. All throughout the chat. Tim thinks I should have traded Tucker to the Yankees. Thomas wants to see Ricketts at the next press conference with Jed. This isn't all on Jed. I don't disagree with you. NC must be one of my big fans. And he also thinks, by the way, that I won't see this and put it on here. I embrace everything. I appreciate these kind of sarcastic comments, yet you're still here. Acts like a country club teenager that's had his Mustang convertible taken away for a night. Oh, man. Never was part of a country club. It looks like NC knows nothing about me, which is not that surprising. That farm ain't good. If it was, we'd be using them. Jed failed again, says Chi-Town. Way to earn the extension. I don't understand it. Most of their prospects are logjam. We got to just going to let them all be Brennan Davis 2.0. Carter Hawkins says slick Ric Flair. Woo! Gets coffee for Jed. Where is Carter Hawkins? There's some Carter Hawkins talk here. Can't wait to see Jed and Carter hide in their offices and duck the press like Ryan Pace. Cap's going to blow a gasket. Yeah, look forward to that recap later tonight that'll drop on the channels. But people are pissed at Cap. Cap, if you're out there listening, man, no one's happy with you, my friend. No one's happy. Quinn makes a point. Quinn Smith scared the F out of the Cubs organization. I don't know if that's true. I still think the respect. I'm not sure that Kyle Tucker will ever get the respect because people expected so much at the deadline. He's a really good player, but he doesn't have the personality of PCA. See, biblical law, you got to be careful. When you start putting yourself out there, you start saying biblical losses, or the White Sox said parades, plural. That stuff comes back to bite you. Jess, get yourself a Big Daddy mug at Hooters after this, Guff. Thanks for giving us space to vent. Always here for you, Jess. Omar, Ricketts is the real problem. Jed went shopping at Amazon Hall. No chance Tucker stays. Guys, the whole thing. Jed lied to Cap. The whole chat. I love it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm calling Cap. I'll call him on speaker. I think he's watching the show, but I'm calling him on speaker. Way to spoil an entire summer, says Charlie. You can only use 2016 for so long, says Jeff. Ownership sucks, says Mark. See, Cap's right now forming his thought about how to form this plan of what the hell just happened. Not even Mitch Keller. No way they're signing Tucker. The Cubs are who we thought they were. What a joke. Well, Waddle and Sylvia are trying to call Cap now. Okay, well, they should be. They should have their guy on. Why wouldn't they? If we can't have, they should have their guy on. I've been suggesting that all day. Appreciate you, Mark. I'm fine, dude. Guff needs a triple shot after the podcast. Appreciate. Typical of all Chicago teams. Great show, Guff. All right. I know you don't want this, but I put you on the spot. You're on speakerphone. I need you to give one line to tease the Cubs recap that's coming later today and grade the Cubs, and then I'll cut you off, Cap.
Today was a disaster.
And?
It was a disaster. The fact that Griffin Jax is pitching now for the Tampa Bay Rays, how can you not get that deal done? And here's my other thought on this. Okay, They didn't. Joe Ryan didn't get traded. Mackenzie Gore didn't get traded. We didn't see any, either of the Marlins guys. The controllable starting market was obscene. I just had someone tell me to get Mackenzie Gore was Matt Shaw, Owen Casey, and the Jackson Wiggins. Okay, I'm not doing that.
Fine, I'm not doing that. But you can't even get Adrien Houser. You can't even get Adrien Houser.
Yeah, once you got Soroka, I don't want Houser, but how do you not get
Mike Soroka? Mike Soroka sucks, dude. I like Michael Soroka. He's a good dude, but come on, man. He was here in Chicago last year.
Yeah, agreed. How can you not get Merrill Kelly? Merrill Kelly, he goes to a team that has the best pitching in baseball.
Which is why I just put a futures ticket on them to win the World Series. So there you go. The Brewers traded for Shelby Miller. Is that what I'm reading? I've stayed on here long enough to see all the trades, but I've seen the big dogs sign off and say that was fun. They're calling it, John Morosi said it's the best trade deadline ever. Cap, I'll say this as I sign you off because I don't want you to get in trouble. Okay? I think it's the worst trade deadline in the history of Chicago sports.
Don't disagree with you.
Because I think
disagree.
The fact that there are some names still on the side. I like the Adrien Houser trade. They got 3 players and one's a major leaguer, 24 years old. I like that move. Luis Roberts still here. Aaron Savali's still here. Mike Talkman's still here. There's questions there.
Yeah, it's a train wreck.
Just so you know, there's a lot of people that are pissed at you that guaranteed big things were coming. So you better be ready for the Cubs recap tonight because.
Well, tell those people I don't run the team. I can't make the trades for them, but I will be doing a recap of Chicago baseball tonight, and both GMs are in my crosshairs.
Well, look forward to it, pal. We'll talk to you in a bit.
See you.
That's the great Capman. You guys think I got him on the show. He's right. I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. Jess, thank you for the love, my dear. That's for my Big Daddy mug at Hooters. Thanks for the show, Jess. I'll repay you for sure the next time you're at a Hooters event. Wires, then don't blow smoke up. Hey, he was reporting what he knew. So I guess tonight, check out the recap and you'll get the answers. Absolutely. Appreciate you, Mark. All right, we're putting a bow because the trade deadline is officially come and gone, and I think it's the worst in the history of Chicago sports. So that was a fun hour. I need to go have a lozenge, some hot tea, and a Big Daddy mug. Because that, my friends, was pathetic. It's all brought to you by Wintrust, the home of White Sox and Cubs checking. Go to wintrust.com/White Sox or Cubs. Click on the QR code. Get the super cool White Sox and the super cool Cubs debit cards right there. We are proud partners with Wintrust, Chicago's bank, the Cubs bank, the White Sox bank, and of course, the Illinois Tollway reminds you to slow down. It saves lives, not only yours, but others depend on it. The If Only campaign of the Illinois Tollway. Please, folks, wherever you're going, adhere to the speed limit. You're going to get there. Right now, I'd probably advise not to drive anywhere. I don't want to be anywhere near any one of us that were just in this chat. Stay tuned. We got the recap rush hour. It is a little later today because we needed to get the trades in. Cubs and White Sox recaps coming about the trade deadline later tonight. You can only imagine what they are going to be because it is going to be something. I appreciate you, Jay. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm driving and you got mad, so I did not have to. Well, that's why I'm helping. Florida, it's a racetrack everywhere, guys. It's a racetrack everywhere. I'm glad, Jay, if you're going to get blackout, lifts on speed dial. Let's go. Appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to the recap. Click that bell. Get a notification every single time content drops or we go live on this fine channel. I'd like to thank Gordon Whitmer of the Cubs Recap Podcast, Brian Anderson, former White Sox center fielder and of the White Sox Recap Podcast. We'll have plenty to break down about the lackluster trade deadline for both sides of town. For everybody here at the recap, I'm Ryan McGuffey. I will be on GN Sports tonight at 10:30. So if you like the passion in the last hour, I'll probably get edited quite a bit. Have the dump button ready, GN Sports. Looking forward to being with those guys tonight at 10:30 on WGN, and it should be a lot of fun. See you tomorrow on the recap lunch hour at 12:30. Get some sleep. Try to process what happened so we could be just as fired up on a Friday edition of the recap lunch hour. For everyone here, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'm Ryan McGuffey. Take that.